Jesus, guys. If this is true, I will laugh my ass off. Imagine Elon Musk blows a ton of money, manages to get himself not necessarily a position in government, but a consulting position close to government, where he has sway and influence. It won't technically be a brand new department, Doge. It won't technically be a department like other things are departments, but it effectively will be, even if on paper it's not. But imagine, Elon blows all that money to gain that power, and on top of that, the bubble pops for all of the shit he's used to grift his way into prominence. You gotta keep in mind, Cybertruck, Tesla, SpaceX to an extent, though SpaceX is actually a pretty useful service for the US like space service, or actually international space industry, mostly because it's been so privatized. Like, if it was still public, then SpaceX would be pointless and useless and a massive waste of money. But because Republicans have privatized space so much in America, notably, say the ISS has required the help of private companies to make shipments up to the ISS so the astronauts up there don't die, you know? And so SpaceX, less overvalued, but oh my god, Cybertruck is actually one of the most overvalued companies ever. It's all hype. It's literally all hype. Although Starlink is actually pretty good. Yeah, you're not wrong about that, Takumini Nightcore. I have a friend who uses Starlink, and she had really bad internet before, like couldn't play a game and be in voice chat with us at the same time. And now she gets like not great internet speeds, but she can play a game and be in voice chat with us now, so that's nice. Yeah, if you live rurally, you kind of need Starlink or something that does what Starlink does if you're gonna have decent internet. So yeah, Tesla is very overvalued. It's very overhyped. Elon Musk has overpromised with his products that have come out of Tesla at every turn. He overstates their quality. Their build quality is actually really low. And at the low end, here's the credit I will give not to Elon, but to the engineers who make Teslas. I've ridden in Teslas before. They're smooth, they're quiet, and the design is even pretty nice on most of them. I don't like the Cybertruck's design, but I like the whole glass canopy thing that most modern normal Tesla cars go for. Here's the thing. They're overpriced. On the cheaper end, like the really cheap end of Teslas, they can be pretty alright, I've heard. But there are cheaper and better EV options. Like, the point here is, like, unless you're just getting a Tesla for the sake of having a Tesla, you might as well go for something else. So I really don't have a lot of respect for, especially, his car company. But apparently Cybertruck might bankrupt Tesla and Elon Musk, according to this video. I don't know if this is going to make a good point. We'll see. I've been sent this and recommended I watch it. Let's see what the deal is. Yeah, Teslas are just like Gucci cars. Gucci electric vehicles is a good way of putting it. Elon wants his cars to be the luxury car equivalent of the EV market.
Could the Tesla Cybertruck bankrupt Elon Musk and Tesla? That's the subject of today's video, and as you guys know, the Tesla Cybertruck has been a massive failure and a massive flop for them, and things just keep getting worse. Already,
I will say I've seen like 4 Cybertrucks on the road before. I was surprised. I never expected I'd ever actually see a Cybertruck in person, but I've seen like 4 of them. Mostly on the highway, and mostly in Seattle. I've seen 1 or 2 parked, but mostly I see them driving around on the road. But I've seen like 4 of them in person, so that's surprising. I actually, the one time when I saw one, this is a funny story. One of the times I saw one was when me and my mom were riding home from her hospital, like from her going to the hospital to get her surgery, to get her full hysterectomy. And she was like fresh out of surgery, and we get picked up, and we're in this Uber, and we're taking the Uber back, and the Uber is a Tesla. It's like a brand new Tesla that we're riding in. Mind you, for an element of comedy, my mom has a a PB bag strapped to her leg at this point, and it's kind of concealed. And so it's like, okay, hopefully he doesn't notice the catheter bag. That'd be not great if he like told us we couldn't get in because he got a catheter bag, but it didn't cause any problems, thankfully. But we're riding in the back, and I'm just like, man, my mom just got real serious surgery. I'm in the back of a stranger's car. This is a high stress situation. I just hope we can get home and I can get her in bed and things can calm down a little bit and things can wind down soon. And then my mom notices, because she's doped up on painkillers at this point, and not 100% there, but she's like 80% there, maybe 90% there. My mom notices a Cybertruck driving by us, and she begins letting her opinion on those that, like Elon Musk, own Tesla products and would buy a Cybertruck, start kind of, drifting out of her mouth. Never have I more quickly grabbed my mom's arm, stop. I don't need this. I don't need to also be in an awkward situation where our Uber driver thinks that you're a bitch, okay? I need just don't drop it. I know he's a tech bro weirdo probably, or he just likes EVs, but just drop it. Just drop it. I know you're high on painkillers right now because you just got surgery, but drop it. I grabbed her arm, please. I gave her this look. So funny.
Already they've had 6 recalls this year, and recently there's even another problem where this guy exposes a design flaw, major design flaw with the Tesla Cybertruck. Have a look at this. So what this Tesla owner figured
Yeah, Mom, don't. He'll drive over all the potholes.
out is that when it snows, the way the truck is designed, the snow actually blocks the lights because there's a shelf right at the lights.
Oh.
It's a terrible design and does really...
Because there's things about the Cybertruck's design that I actually find quite cool, but there's so little, it feels like they didn't test it. Or it feels like they did, and then the engineers told Elon, hey, this isn't going to work. This is a bad design. This is going to cause this, and that problem, but then realized the compromise on the design to make things work better would make it look less cool in Elon's vision, and so he nixed the any adjustments or revisions. It feels like this thing needed 3 more years in the concept phase.
dangerous. So you can see that is obviously a major flaw. This thing may really struggle in winter, and as more and more...
I guess it's probably meant for Mars, right? If you were to ask Elon, and the way it looks and is designed, is it supposed to be the truck version of a Mars rover? Is the logic oh, you're just test driving it for its future use on Mars? I wonder if it'll work at all for Mars. Considering the massive-ass gaps, you'll just die. You need to wear a suit in that thing for sure. Because, that thing's not hermetically or air-sealed. They're big-ass gaps.
More people essentially hit these things on the road, you're going to see more and more problems. A lot of this actually is Elon Musk's own fault. He took big control on the Tesla Cybertruck design. I've made videos about this topic before. Check these out if you haven't seen it already. But basically, this was Elon Musk's baby and is a massive failure and shows that Elon Musk is really, really incompetent when it comes to doing these things. But it gets worse, and it seems like Tesla's trying to cover this stuff up. Check out this headline. This is just coming out now, December 2nd. Tesla tells workers on Cybertruck line, no need to report to work for the next 3 days. Basically, if you're working on the Cybertruck and you're over at Tesla, they don't need you to come to work. I think there is a massive demand problem with these things, right? If you're telling your workers to quit making them, what does that tell you? Are there financial problems going on with this also? Let's read the details of this stuff, and I want to hear your thoughts. So it says, on Monday, Tesla notified workers at the Austin factory where it assembles the Cybertruck.
Even if the Cybertruck wasn't shitty, man, did they expect to not have a massive demand issue? If they were smart, they would have only made 10,000 of the damn things, because it's unlikely any more than that would ever be bought. Period. Like you got to be a really dedicated and well-off Elon Musk fan to buy a Cybertruck. There's not a large market for that kind of thing. The people who have the broader market of people who have Cybertruck money aren't buying a Cybertruck with that money.
To take the next 3 days off, right? If you're working on a Cybertruck, just take the next 3 days off. We don't need you. What's going on, guys? It says, according to a memo viewed by the Business Insider, quote, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week, so that's December 3rd to December 5th, so this week, you do not need to report to work. That's what they sent out to employees who work on the Cybertruck. Don't need to come to work. It also says here, workers were told they would still receive 8 hours of pay for each day they've been scheduled to work, which is kind of interesting. Why are they paying people and tell them to not go to work? They must be some sort of...
They might be canceling the Cybertruck line. Genuinely. That could be the news that we're going to get in 2 days or tomorrow. Layoffs always happen right before Christmas. They could be laying off a bunch of Cybertruck line workers, but I think they might shut down the entire Cybertruck line and stop manufacturing them. Just try to sell off what they have. You know, one time I played Rust with friends. We all did a wipe together, 2-week wipe, and we got a really good server. It was high pop, but we picked a spot up in the mountains where we had several grid squares of friendly neighbors that were just like chill with us, and we had like a neighborhood of friendliness going on where it was just super safe to loot and run the roads and hit the monuments. No one shot at each other, and anyone who was aggressive that came into our territory, we shot them up, right? One of the dudes who lived by the road near our house up in the mountains in Rust was a guy who had taken over the gas station and built his base next to it. He let us loot it, but he had set up like an open car garage, and he was building using the car mechanic in the game. He was building cars using the car building mechanic, and I decided to talk to him for a bit just because he was sitting outside kind of perilously building cars, and I was bored, so I just sat down next to him and watched him build his vehicle, and I asked him what he did for a living. And funnily enough, he built Teslas for a living. He was a Tesla line worker. And he talked about how there were definitely a lot of downsides to working on the Tesla manufacturing line, but there were some upsides too. One of the things that he liked was that he had a free Tesla. He straight up had a free Tesla. And it was actually at that point that I realized, you got to keep in mind, a lot of the Teslas that you're seeing on the road, especially if you live in a city that has manufacturing going on, there's a good chance that that is a Tesla employee driving around their Tesla. I'm pretty certain the way that you get your free Tesla is if you choose to have part of your wages garnished to go to your free Tesla fund or something like that, or you have to work there a certain amount of time and then you get your free Tesla. Like, you have to be a loyal employee. But yeah, I think a good amount of Teslas on the road might literally be like employee promotion, if that makes sense.
Contractual obligation there. As Tesla, they made no comment on this, so that's why it's an interesting story. Also says here, the email said workers would return to the Cybertruck production line on Friday, December 6th. Tesla also said that some workers would not follow the adjusted schedule, and those workers would be notified separately. I wonder what that means. Does that mean they're getting laid off? There's a possibility in that. The way things are going, maybe they're taking the 3 days to figure out, okay, who we keep, who do we not keep. This is going to be really interesting. It also says here, it is unclear why Tesla has temporarily changed the scheduling for the Cybertruck assembly line. I personally think it's a demand issue, but we're going to get more on this. This is why it's a breaking news. Also says here, factory workers on the Cybertruck line said their schedule has been inconsistent since late October, right? Their hours aren't regular. And if you guys are working a job, you know it's not good when the boss is telling you not to come in, and you know it's not good when you just can't get the hours, right, that you need. It says here, 4 workers told Business Insider that several times after arriving at work, they had been either sent home, right? We don't need you. And could you imagine that, driving to work thinking you're going to, do your job, get paid, etc., and they just send you home? Or it says here, given additional training exercises, whatever that means, or cleaning duties, they just have you be a janitor to fill their scheduled work hours. So I think...
Yeah, dude, the Cybertruck, this is an L. There's no way the Cybertruck is in a good place. There's no good reason for this to be happening. Like what? Also, going from line worker to janitor is crazy.
I think there's real problems here. Another person said here, at least one worker expressed frustration with their scheduled changes. Yes, I would be frustrated too. Completely understand. This was the quote. When I started at Tesla, you could expect to get overtime pay. Now I feel lucky to get 40 hours. And that's the worker on the Cybertruck line. I think there's a real demand problem with these things. They're basically making too many. They can't sell them all. And so you can't keep making them, right? You're just taking a bath on these things. So literally, you're telling workers to stay home. And we're going to probably find out by the end of this week the announcements. If I had to bet, I would bet they're going to be laying off people over at Tesla who work at the Cybertruck. Again, this is in Austin, Texas. If anyone works at Tesla watching this video, let me know your thoughts on this thing, but this is how I read this. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to get hurt because of Elon Musk's poor decision to take the control of designing the Cybertruck, which is frankly just overpriced. It's a ridiculous vehicle. I understand there's a lot of tech bros that like this thing, but for the average, truck owner who wants a work truck, like a real truck,
It's not a real truck. Yeah, he's right. It's not a real truck. Listen, my mom has a truck, and it's a truck. Like next to a Cybertruck. Hey, listen, if I need to move, I'm taking my mom's truck over the Cybertruck. That's all I'm saying. It's hilarious that my mom drives a more real truck than the tech bros who drive a Cybertruck and think they're like techno rednecks, I guess would be the aesthetic they're going for. And mind you, my mom may be from Florida, but has her big ass truck living in Palm Springs, California. The super like literally the town that looks like the Barbie movie, basically, is the best way of putting it. Like, I just find it funny that the Cybertruck is such not a real truck. It's so not.
this thing is useless. It is basically designed for Justin Bieber kind of people or Kardashian kind of people, or people who want to be Justin Bieber or Kardashian. I will say this about the Cybertruck: if Tesla would have just made a regular truck, just a regular old pickup truck, right? Don't screw around too much with design. Go with what works. It actually might have done pretty well for them, to be perfectly frank. But Elon and his ego, he's like, no, I want to build the future that looks like the future, and he designed the truck to look like the movie, basically. I hate to break it to you, Elon, movies aren't real. It's a movie. And again, you can watch my video as I go over the design stuff of that when Elon was designing it. And you got this. Things are going bad when the Tesla fanboys and fangirls really start attacking me personally. That's what they do when they get upset, because that's all they have. That's all they can do is attack. Listen to this. This is the tax.
It's a cult. It's a cult. Same. It's why Elon and Trump get along so well, is they recognize they've done the same thing and built the same type of cult, and they've got a lot of overlap. It was natural for them to unite. Like Trump fans and Elon fans can't name a thing they dislike about Trump or Elon, because that's a telltale sign someone's in a cult. They are so irrational. They can't even accept that there are some things about what they support that they aren't a fan of. They're fanatic.
That they got on me. This is from Billy Underwood. He says, "Oh, you little communist!" Literally, these are comments. 19 hours ago, you're looing. I think it's supposed to mean lying. You're looing and making a poor attempt at fear mongering. You lost. You're going to be forever in the losing column. You've been on the wrong side of history the entire time your party has existed. So this is when the fangs come out from the Tesla fanboys and fangirls, right? And they get all kind of hissy fitting, you know that things are bad on their end. Here's another one.
I think they're referencing the election when they say you lost. One thing you got to keep in mind is the fact that the right wins at anything is what they use as a reason for why the right is correct. Like, oh, Trump won the election. That's why Trump is good. They're going to use that as an argument why Trump is good, like, incessantly for the next 4 years. I hope you know that. Like, they don't actually operate under a logical basis for things. Every position they have is already pre-decided. They don't argue about the core of issues. They argue about unimportant details and force you to cede the ground of the most fundamental facts of the situation. You have to keep them from making you do that.
Yesterday from Morot, I guess how you say Sio Naj. This person says, Musk is a once-in-a-generation genius on the level of Trump, Newton, Galileo, or Einstein. Just because you don't understand doesn't mean you need to speak on that matter. So guys, if you don't understand the genius of Elon Musk and Trump, who are just like, this is according to one of his fans, just like Newton, Galileo, or Einstein, if you don't understand it, you shouldn't speak on the matter. Someone in our community responded and said, wow, this one has drank gallons of orange Kool-Aid. And the person replied, I've heard of TDS, that stands for Trump Derangement Syndrome, but you also seem to be co-occurring, likely terminal case of MDS. That would be Musk Derangement Syndrome. Poor little guy, gonna die from playa hatin'. That's coming from one of Elon Musk's fans. Here's another one. This is coming from Steve, another fan of Elon Musk and Tesla. Steve says, talking to me, you need to get laid, kid. Take whatever Chinese wiener you have and go outside and stop obsessing about others' goofs. He's living rent-free in your head. Go back to China or something.
Yeah, so like, you can kind of get an idea of the people who feel like they've taken the W with this election. You know, we pointed out that these people were racist this whole time, but the people who, I guess, claim not to be racist but voted Trump anyway, they didn't believe us. But I don't see any reason for them to finally accept it now. Now's just the best time to be doubling down. You don't want to be on the losing side, right? That's why a lot of people back Trump. It's because Trump's all about winning, and they want to be on the winning side. They want to win. They want America to win. But more than they want America to win, they want to win. They want to be on the side of America that wins. Yeah. Listen, I'm just glad to see that Elon is losing even more money, and things are getting a little spooky for him. That actually makes me very happy. A little bit of a silver lining to all the crazy news we're getting today. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this segment, if you found it enjoyable, if you found it educational or entertaining, then please consider leaving a like, whether you do it now, watching live, or after the fact, and this goes out on YouTube on its own. I really do appreciate it. It helps a lot. As does commenting as well. A like and a comment is the best way to get my content pushed in the algorithm and in the eyes of far more people. So thank you to everybody still watching who goes down and does that. You can also subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already to turn on all notifications so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video, because if you don't, they won't. And you can follow my social medias, which are all linked down below in the description if you want to see more from me on other platforms, especially my Blue Sky, where I've been posting a lot more lately, and of course my Discord server, which is the main hub and core pillar of my community. I host gaming events, call-in streams, and watch parties there, in fact, once a week on Fridays, and I announce all my new uploads and streams there, so even if YouTube fucks up, at least you know that my Discord server is there waiting for you and ready with announcements anytime I'm active. And of course, finally, if you want to help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub to someone else on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or perhaps buying some custom Xander Hall merch through the Streamlabs link down below in the description. No matter how you support me though, as always, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one.